tripwire is a subtle and yet sophisticated component in a funnel. So what other kinds of techniques are there that can enhance the performance of a funnel?
Sure. And actually, Adam, I want to go back to the example that you gave earlier, where you told this story anecdote about how you were running ads and traffic was coming into a landing page. You got plenty of clicks, but you got no conversions. And if you remember, if you could tell me that landing page, what was it? Were you offering your service, or what were you actually offering on that page?
Oh, gosh, it's so long ago, Matt. It's deep in the recesses of I can't really remember, but I'm guessing it was probably I had built a real estate investing education course. This was specifically for investors,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a big sell actually. On the landing page. So, Mike, I mean, I'm guessing now as I think about it, I can probably imagine where you're going to take that. But to go ahead, I'm going to let you do that anyway.
Sure. So I've come up with something that I think explains a lot of how people behave online in terms of their buying decisions. And I call it the 11 laws of sales funnel physics. That sounds like something kind of fancy, but it helps to predict, and it helps you to understand, why do people buy or not buy? Why do they take my tripwire? Why do they sign up and opt in for my lead magnet or not? Why do they arrive after clicking on an ad on my landing page and then do nothing? They just leave. Well, the number one law of the 11 laws is what I call the law of alignment. So the law of alignment, if you basically imagine, in its absolute simplest form, two lines, are they connected where it's just a straight horizontal line, or is there a mismatch somewhere? Mm. So for example, if the ad in this case, and this is very, very common, it's a very common mistake, and a lot of people who get involved in digital marketing and who create their first sales funnel or who run their first ad, they will often give up at this point. Because what will happen is, they'll have the landing page, they'll have the ads running, and it just won't connect, and they're not sure why. Mm. So, for example, if you were to run an ad, and this is a very common question that we get all the time from members of our audience too at AutoGrow, is if the ad says, this is a real estate investment learning opportunity, risk-free or whatever. So people click on that, they come to the page and they see, oh, wow, it's actually a paid offer. I was expecting risk-free because maybe it's going to be some sort of a lead magnet, something I could just put in my email address for, maybe learn something. But I don't know Adam. I'm not familiar with Adam. I'm not familiar with his brand. He looks like, a nice guy with a lot of knowledge, but I'm just not ready to pull out my wallet and invest right now. And that's why, that's where the whole concept of a funnel comes from, because naturally as people, we want to buy from people and brands that we are already familiar with, and that we already have some sort of trust, or that we already see as an authority on a certain subject. So the mismatch in that case, I don't know the details. I'm sort of inventing some of the details here just as an example.
Yeah.
But if it was, if the ads were changed, for example, to offer people a lead magnet, that would be a more graceful escalation of the relationship from, okay, here's an ad I'm offering you, for example, and this was the idea that I came up with for this interview, the Smart Investors Checklist. And this is something that, members of the audience could maybe steal and use too. The Smart Investors Checklist, 7 critical criteria to look for in any real estate investment project. So it's a checklist, so it's actionable, number 1. Number 2, it has a number in it, number 7, which is by itself, it just helps to quantify the value, so it's perceived as more valuable for that reason too. And it's directly aligned. So again, coming back to law of alignment, with not just what the ad said, but it's aligned with what ultimately you want to offer to people, which would be, in this case, the opportunity to invest in a new project that you're looking to raise money for online.